Hey everyone. So, one of the things that has been a buzz on the internet lately in the marketing worlds and all the marketing influencers, you could check YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere is all a buzz about AI and specifically Chat GPT. And there's a lot of conversation happening from people who really, frankly, aren't experienced on the subject, trying to make the case that AI, Chat GPT, insert whoever else, is going to influence SEO. And to a certain extent, that is true, but it's not in the way that all these people think it's going to impact SEO. So a lot of the people are trying to make the case that, SEO is really all about the creation of quality content, which AI can do. It's not the best. It's not as if it were written by a subject matter expert, but it does write passable content. And people are thinking that that's going to be enough to win the SEO game. And once upon a time, that may have been true. But the creation of content is not what is going to cause Chat GPT to change the face of SEO in the future. And I'm going to dig into what I mean by that. But where we have to start is understanding what ChatGPT is and how it works. So, ChatGPT, at the end of the day, and I mean no insult to the developers of this technology, I think that it does have the capacity to change the world for the better. I think the ability to write articles is just one application of it. I think down the road, when we see a medical application, imagine having the knowledge of every medical textbook ever written there, searchable, and you find results. I think that that's the ability to change the world definitely for the better in that application. And I'm sure there's plenty of others that are more creative that I personally haven't thought of. However, the creation of content, when you ask ChatGPT to write an article about any topic on earth, which is what a lot of people are using it for, and they're using that as a way of potentially enhancing their SEO, what they don't realize is that ChatGPT and this AI neural net that exists, it's really just a really advanced use of autocomplete. So if you all that you're doing is giving the AI rails to stay in topic wise. So if you think about when you search for something on Google, it's trying to complete the thought that you have. So what is the best blank? Google's going to start auto completing that for you, right? So all that this AI is doing is looking at the rails that you gave it. So you make the command, write an article about why plastic in water bottles is a negative. And basically, what it's going to do is it's going to keep looking for the next best word. And eventually, it's going to create enough of an article where now you have something that is readable. It may be accurate based on the points of data that the neural net is able to put together and put together into a cohesive article. However, because it is able to do that and these neural nets exist, that means that Google also has access to this information. So Google is now able to detect just as easily as you're able to write it, they're able to detect that this content was written using AI. Google has been acquiring natural language companies, AI companies, building their own for the past 6 years. This is something that has been on their radar. So they are aware that this content exists. And ChatGPT is really just the first publicly facing one that everyone has free access to and can use it easily. There have been plenty at least dozens of AI content tools that have existed for the past year and a half, 2 years that I know of. Who knows? Maybe there have been some that have existed for much longer. So factor that in with the fact that already there are at least 8 tools that I personally know of that can detect if content is written using AI. So that means Google definitely has the ability to determine if a piece of content that's being published is written using AI. So I want to take this opportunity to give a tiny bit of a history lesson of Google and SEO and why I believe the content aspect of AI is going to do more damage for SEO than any good. And then I'm going to share what is going to be good about AI coming up, and why SEOs need to pay attention to all of this AI revolution that's going on right now. If you think about how good the results are on Google, it's not accidental. A lot of people watching this may be too young to remember, but us old guys will probably remember that in the early 2000s, there was a new search engine every month that everyone used because the results essentially got taken over by people that figured out how the algorithm worked. And it was really easy to kind of trick them into showing whatever. So you would be searching for plumber near me, or whatever the search was at that time. It doesn't really matter. And you were all of a sudden getting for a search about plumbers, you're getting a web page completely dedicated to Viagra or something completely irrelevant. So as time went on, Google came out and they said, okay, we're going to establish that you have to have some kind of authority on this topic. And what that meant was they looked at not only your website, but the websites that are linking to you. So they were able to effectively say, okay, if all these other people are talking about you, that means you have authority on this topic. And then that's why the results started to become really, really good on Google. Then over time, what started to happen was people realized, oh, if I just got more people linking to me, I would win those rankings. So it became a numbers game. So then tons of websites essentially got published that all started linking. They were called link farms. They basically existed to send backlinks to people. So people in the SEO space would go out, get a link, point it to a website, and they just had to do more of that than the competitors. So that meant all websites that were now irrelevant were starting to show up. So then overnight, this was in 2011, 2012, Google started rolling out changes that said, okay, we can see that there are these networks of links that are pointed to websites, and now no longer are they're not worth anything any longer. So now all these people that spent thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars had links pointing to them that are now worthless. They basically devalued what all of that meant. So Google has been able to detect when people are trying to do things that are tricking their algorithm, and they penalize you for that. So fast forward to today, now people are going onto YouTube and saying like, oh, all you have to do is just write more content than your competitors about specific topics, and you'll outrank them because now you've got more content. Google is already theoretically able to detect that this AI exists, just like they were able to detect that bad backlinks exist, links that exist just for the sake of getting more links to win the SEO game. Google has always been very clear that if you're trying to game their system and you are trying to take shortcuts to being relevant to what somebody is searching for and you're just trying to show up by taking these shortcuts, they will not rank you. So if you're going through and creating content for the sake of content, it will not last long. And if you're using AI to do this, it's already very detectable. Not necessarily always to the human eye, but these AI tools can already detect when the content that's being generated has basically been spun up by the AI. Now, that's the warning for what and truly why I believe content is not the future of AI and SEO. However, where I do believe things get interesting is the fact that Bing, Google's main competitor, the default search engine on the default browser of the default computer that most Americans buy, is introducing Chat GPT into the search results. So if Chat GPT can open it up and make the process of finding information, not necessarily always just writing content and doing whatever people are doing with AI, if people are able to get information faster, that's an amazing use of the tool. And I think this is what's going to put Google on edge, and the true future of SEO as it relates to AI, how AI is actually going to impact SEO, is this may be the time that we see Google fundamentally change how the product works. One example of this, I use Excel a lot for work, for reporting and different things related to SEO, but I'm kind of a creative guy. Excel isn't a natural language to me. I have to really focus, and to get Excel to do what I want it to do, I have to really dig and kind of train my brain to really use it the way that it's supposed to be used. So I'm not the best at Excel, but I get by. um, I've had a function that I've wanted Excel to do. I knew it could do it, but I've been searching Google. I've been trying to find the answer for a few months, and I couldn't figure it out. But I went to Chat GPT and I asked it, how do I make X, Y, and Z happen in my Excel spreadsheet? And in seconds, the blink of an eye, it spit out a formula. I plugged it into Excel. Lo and behold, it worked. So I got a result in a matter of 30 seconds. It took me longer to figure out how to ask Chat GPT for what I wanted. It took me longer to do that than actually get the result that I was looking for, when I had been looking on Google off and on. That it's not like I've dedicated my all my time to it, but when I would think about it, I would plug it into Google and not get the results I was looking for. So to me, this is an amazing realization that, okay, imagine, Chat GPT is amazing at kind of like spinning up generic information, for lack of a better word. It's going to be something that's readable, informative. You can learn about a couple different things, or anything really. You can learn about it on Chat GPT, and it's going to put together cohesive thoughts. However, Google's going to be able to detect it, and there's going to be limitations to it. The database, as far as I understand it, for ChatGPT stops at 2021. So there's no new information after 2021 at this point that I'm recording this video. Google indexes as close to live time as they possibly can. So if ChatGPT is building up the user habit of asking something a question and getting an answer, but is limited by the timeliness of the results and how deep that information goes, and Google has the most recent information, and really has limitless supplies of information, because their goal is to index the world's information. If they combine the two, and now you have a version of Google that looks like, oh, I ask it a question and it delivers me some results. To me, that's the real future of SEO. That is how AI is going to impact SEO, is because it's Chat GPT is going to train people to function with the internet in a genuinely different way. So now Google is going to have to respond and say, okay, here, those are the kind of results that you want. Here they are for you. So what does that mean? Think of this as a local business. Um, you can ask Chat GPT, who are the top plumbing companies in the Philadelphia area, and they can't give you those results. I've tried it, and Chat GPT actually comes back and says, this is research you're going to have to do elsewhere. Consider asking your friends and family. Google, however, has all of that information. And you imagine a world where you can ask Google, all right, who are 5 plumbers that I can call near me that specialize in installing a new toilet or something, like whatever. They can give you, here's 5 plumbers near you that mention on their websites that they will replace your toilet. Okay, great. Who has the highest rating? Google has that information. This is all information that at this point, Chat GPT doesn't have, but these are questions that your customers are asking. And I went with a totally generic, really easy to follow example in a local plumber. But imagine how that could be applied to your business. Now, this is where you go through and create content and supply the information that is genuinely relevant to your customer. And that is where I truly believe the future of our tasks as SEO is, because I find I would be shocked if Google didn't make changes to their algorithm to match what is going on in the world right now. And I think that that's truly the opportunity that exists with AI and SEO. So I hope you found this helpful. I'm Sean the SEO Geek, and if you found this helpful, consider subscribing, and I'm sure, be having more conversations about this. I look forward to seeing you again the next time that we come around. Take care.